Hello there.
Hello.
Let's get this music off before it starts getting aggy. Hello everyone.
Hey.
How you all doing? Oh my god, I've still got the aggy instrumental solo playing in my ear. There we go, much better. How are you all? I'm Katie and this is Ryan and we're doing the Superconsole podcast live again because last time we didn't swear. So
didn't we?
I don't think so. Maybe
I'm pretty sure I swore once.
I think I said boobs. I normally do for some reason.
Good work.
But we're going to try again. How's the volume? Can everyone hear okay? That's the first question that we should probably find out the answer to. Let us know in the comments. Comments? God, so YouTube. Let us know in the chat and yeah, we'll sort that out if it's bad.
Like and subscribe whilst you're at it.
So yeah, we didn't say anything too traumatic last time, although we did get into some serious Netflix chat.
And there'll be plenty of that this time.
So we thought, rather than last time where we felt awkward about doing so much Netflix chat, we just centre the whole thing around Netflix chat this time. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Cool. Which is what the...
I mean, I haven't played that many games, so...
And that's why you've got the guy in the top corner there, because he is from Terrace House, which is the best show ever, which we'll come on to later. We should probably talk a little bit about games. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
What have you been playing lately then?
Pretty much exclusively Splatoon.
Really?
Loads of Splatoon.
I mean, I haven't noticed. Having lived with you, I haven't noticed at all.
Yeah, I've been playing Splatfest the past weekend, which was... I didn't play as much this weekend. I played last weekend. It was in the weekend before last. It was really good. But I've just been really getting into it. I think I've had enough of playing overly competitive multiplayer games, and Splatoon's kind of pretty chilled. It's pretty chilled.
Oh, because it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splatfest, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you win?
I won one, but I can't remember who it was the weekend before last.
What? Oh my god! What? It's not Squid Sister. What are they called these days? What girl was it who won?
It was the green one.
Oh god! Real Splatoon fan,
I don't
right?
know that much about Splatoon. I just play a reasonable amount.
You just destroy all the kids on there.
Well, I don't do that well.
Okay, fair enough. I can't remember if I talked about what I was playing last time on the stream, but I've been playing Oxenfree. Well, that was a while ago. I finished it now, and that was quite good. I think you were making fun of me about how I got scared. Because it's of the pixel art.
Yeah, it's because it's pixel graphics, and you kept them pretty much screaming, or just I just hear, oh my, oh.
Why was I saying, oh my?
I don't know, you were super freaked out.
There were some bits where you get possessed and stuff, or your friends get possessed, and they do get a bit creepy, because sometimes they go slightly off, off shot, so you can't see them fully, and you're like, oh my god, what the hell is that? So... I don't think that's that bad, but it was really good, and it's one of those games which is quite short, so you can do multiple playthroughs to see kind of different story fragments, which I always like. I love a really story-based game, so I would thoroughly recommend it. It was on sale on the Switch, which is why I picked it up. I've been meaning to play it for ages. I don't know if it's still on sale, but if it's, whatever the cost is, it's going to be cheap. It'll be worth it. You should pick it up. And now I've moved on to playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on Switch, which was... Was that one of my presents for Christmas?
I think it was, yeah.
I finally got around to actually being able to play it. And I loved Xenoblade Chronicles on, my god, Wii and new 3DS. It was so good, and I loved all of the story and the gameplay. It was great. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's not bad. It's just the voices are horrendous. The voice acting in the first one, they had really crazy voice actors. Well, not crazy, but it was weird for a Japanese visual game to have Cockney accents and Welsh and Scottish people. It's great, the diversity of it. It's really good localization, but it kind of they weren't too annoying. But this new one, oh my god, if I hear them say, "Let's show him a thing or three" one more time, I think God. So I've downloaded the Japanese voice pack, and now my life is a lot better.
You haven't even completed Persona yet, though, have you?
I'm on the final boss battle, literally the final boss battle of the final dungeon, and I think I've played the final boss battle now 3 times, and I've got to the final stage of the final boss battle of the final dungeon 3 times and then died on like a really cheap shot. It's so frustrating. I think I just need to go back and grind a little bit, like in the previous area, just a little bit more.
It's been so long. It's been so long since you started that game.
I don't think I want to finish it though. I think that's the thing. I think I want to like keep it going.
I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild.
I was gonna say it's like Breath of the Wild and you. Like you don't want to finish it.
Not really.
It's like when you're eating something really good and you leave the best bit of your dinner until last. That's what it's like playing Persona and Breath of the Wild. You don't want it to end.
I know what the ending of Breath of the Wild is going to be. Even before you start, you know what the ending is going to be. That you
and you saw me finish it, didn't you?
Yeah, but like you know what it's going to like end like. I think I'll probably finish it at some point and then just start again, or just go on a spree of trying to find all the Korok seeds.
My friend at work, Harriet, has just started Breath of the Wild, and like it's so lovely seeing like she's still on the plateau. And like she was talking about it the other day, and she was like, "Wow, it's like so big, and there's so much to do. I'm so excited, and I want to relive that moment."
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Of stepping out, you know that beautiful cutscene when you come out of like the cavey thing, and you see like the world before you for the first time, and it plays that beautiful music. Oh, and I just want that to happen all over again.
I think it's like such a common theme with like all like the high tier kind of open world games in general that the first time you play them there's always such like a magical opening moment that you kind of always think back to and wish you could relive.
It's true. Yeah. I want to play it all over again, but I want to play it having not played it, if you know what I mean. I want it to be fresh. I don't want it to be my memories of it. But I feel bad. I've abandoned a lot of horses on that game. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I don't think I can give it a fair judgment yet. It's a big game, so I think I need to give it more time. But you find it weird how your waifu is a sword, don't you?
What? What do you mean my waifu is a sword?
Do you not remember when you were watching me play it, you were like, wait a minute, is she your sword?
Oh,
that girl
right,
in the red.
Yeah,
She's a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm into that.
You weren't into that before. Oh dear. Funny. But yeah, so I'll keep playing that and then I'll deliver my final verdict. I know there's a few people on YouTube who were saying, like, when am I going to review it? And I don't want to review it until I've finished playing it, or at least done a sizable chunk.
I think JRPGs in general are really hard to review, are they not? Like, because it's a classic thing where it's just like, oh, they get really good, like, 14 hours in, but, like, that's a long time.
So we were talking about this the other day, and Ryan was saying that he thinks it's a sign of a bad game if it takes over 5-10 hours to get into it.
Yeah.
When do you think is like the cut-off point for like it's a bad game?
I think this is just like how many like the style of games that I've always consumed as a gamer. That I've always consumed multiplayer games, like strategy games, like anything competitive, and even the single player games usually like Western style short games that are usually about 10 to 14 hours. So the 14 hours point is usually like the end of the game, whereas JRPGs like that's just the beginning.
You've just stepped out of like the opening area.
I think like what I consider a good game is kind of a little bit not jaded by that, but like very much distinguished by those kind of like style of games that I play. So I think it's pretty unfair, maybe a little bit unfair of me to say like, oh, if a game takes 14 hours to start getting good, then it's a bad game.
I just think you don't know play those kind of games that much.
Yeah.
By the way, an OB Spool, hi, you have a very strange name.
An OB Spool?
But hello.
A fat cow.
Excuse me. I'd be a rotund chicken.
A rotund chicken?
A round boy.
Oh,
a small round boy.
A small round boy.
Maybe. But yes, so we'll see if Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gets a bit better. I think it got mixed reviews when it came out.
Did it?
It's pretty though. Like, I loved Xenoblade Chronicles X for a different reason. Mainly just because it was just, I don't know what I loved about it, to be honest. It was very futuristic.
I think it's just like the amount of time that I have now that I don't really want to spend 14 hours like putting into a game in order for it to start getting good. I want those 14 hours to be good.
But we have Switch now, so you can waste time on the way to work.
I know.
You've got time to spare now.
Again, like it's an RPG, I kind of want to sit down and just like play it for like 3 or 4 hours at a time.
Speaking of a game which looks amazing, which I know I'm going to spend a lot of little pockets of time at, we went to EGX Rezzed. It's like an indie show for any of you who's not in the UK in London recently,
London.
and we finally played Ooblets.
Oh god, so cute.
Well, I finally played Ooblets.
Well, I watched you.
You watched me play Ooblets.
It was still cute. It still looked cute.
It's made by this duo, Rebecca and Ben, who make up a development team called Glumberland. And oh my god, it's adorable, isn't it?
It is really cute.
It's like Pokemon crossed with Animal Crossing crossed with Harvest Moon, would you say?
Yeah.
Except the Pokemon are little plant creatures that you grow, and then they follow you into your little team. Like, they literally walk behind you, like when Pikachu walks behind you in Pokemon Yellow. And they fight for you, and it's super cute. Really, really cute, isn't it?
Mm.
I'm just so excited for it. It's the aesthetic that I love.
I think I'm just, like, absolutely desperate for an Animal Crossing game, so this is kind of like the halfway house for whilst I hopefully wait for a future announcement from Nintendo.
It's got to be E3. It's got to be.
Maybe.
It's gotta be.
I think this to myself every single year, and nothing occurs, and then maybe a year down the line they'll announce a new Animal Crossing game, and it'll just be another Amiibo festival thing. But this time with loot crates, and it's a battle royale.
Loot crate festival battle royale.
Animal Crossing battle royale, I could actually be pretty into that.
No.
Yeah. Tom Nook would slaughter everyone.
Tom Nook, it'd be all about Red. Red would take people down.
He'd be sneaky. He'd be a very sneaky boy.
He'd be that boy. He'd be that boy in Fortnite that hides until the very end and then comes out and blitzes people. That would be him. In the little, like, plant that you can hide in. So yeah, Ooblets looks fantastic. So if you haven't checked that out there, then you should. I think there's a waiting page, wishlist page on Steam that you can look at, because I probably haven't described it very well, and you should look at it yourselves. I'm trying to think what else is going on in the news. One of your favourite indie developers, Campo Santo, who made Firewatch, they've been acquired by the big boy Valve.
It's really weird, isn't it? I think it's a weird acquisition.
That?
It's a weird acquisition. As long as they keep making the way that they've previously made games with Firewatch, would be happy. It's just I feel like it's a weird acquisition from Valve to kind of show just we're still making games, kind of, but it's not us that's making games. We're just acquiring companies and bringing them into our thing, which is fine. It's fine if it gives them financial support and kind of cradles them so that they feel like they can take more creative risks and have the finance behind them to take those risks.
What do you think of their current projects, In the Valley of the Gods?
I'm not sure.
Not sure on it?
I'm really desperate always for Egyptian games, which is quite a weird thing because there's not that many, as well as British games, which is kind of odd as well, I suppose. That it's kind of games set in British countrysides and things, because I don't know. There's just a very few mixture of games that kind of focus on that.
What game are you talking about? Everyone's Gone to Rapture.
Everyone's Gone to Rapture.
Or Everybody's Gone to Rapture.
Well, yeah. Which nails British countryside etiquette so well. It's so funny. And I suppose a little bit Dishonored, but it's it's much a more of a fantasy take on British culture and that kind of era in general. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's not really quite there.
I love how video games is a medium where you can be anywhere, you can be anyone, you can do anything, and you just want to be in the British countryside where we live. Yeah,
that or Egypt, because no one seems to really do that much with it, and it's such a history-rich point that I would have always thought that more have been done with it.
This is true.
Yeah,
I think it looks cool. I'm just not. I want to see more.
Yeah, me too.
We watched that trailer recently, and it had that weird music playing over the top, and it was weird.
Really odd.
I couldn't tell if they were trying to set it up as a horror game. There were some scenes which were a little bit like the camera angle, isn't it? As if something was going to jump out. But I don't think it's that kind of experience.
I mean, they kind of try to do. They do it as a joke, I think, at one point in Firewatch, right, where you're going into the caves and
yeah,
they make ghost strokes.
Yeah, that's true. I loved Firewatch so much.
It was so good. It's amazing.
Want that vinyl someday.
Someday, when we stop spending our money and stuff.
Mr. I bought a graphics card today.
Need it for work?
Whatevs. Need it for dem games.
It's all about Switch these days.
Yeah, that's true. So So, what else? I guess Nintendo's online system is going paid soon. It's going to be £17.99 a year, which I think is pretty cheap.
That's damn cheap.
If you think about, like, PSN, I think PSN's, like, just under £50 a year.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
like, it's the price of a large Domino's pizza, and maybe a side. I'm not sure how expensive Domino's is these days, but
$17.99 is literally
it's around,
a large pizza, isn't
yeah,
it, for Domino's?
it's around that price.
Not that we know that, because we don't
So,
buy from Domino's anymore.
One large pizza from Domino's or Switch for a year. That's pretty good.
That is good. That's true. Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
I don't know how feature rich it is though.
Well, you're going to have your voice chat through your phone. So, I think that's the level we're at right now. But, I mean, I don't mind. Won't use voice chat anyway.
What else was it that you said? I think it was the NES games every month.
I think there's going to be a pool of, like, free NES games on, like, a virtual console. I think that's what I saw. Which, I mean, great. I never call it NES. I just copied you. I always say NES.
NES.
NES. But then I say SNES.
SNES? Are they going to do SNES games?
It just says NES right now. NES.
I want Link to the Past on Switch.
I know you do.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
You want Link to the Past anywhere. Okay, so in the world of movies,
Yes.
Infinity War.
It was alright. Controversial opinion. It was alright.
We're going to be spoiler free as much as possible.
I can do a very like easy spoiler-free review of it.
Okay, go for it.
Now, I respect the Marvel fan base. Okay,
Do
if you're
you?
if you're into superhero like movies, that's fine. But like, I think when I go to films now, I've become a little bit of a snob. I don't know how. I've for some reason become a little bit of a snob when it comes to films. I used to really much enjoy like just watching Iron Man and be happy like consuming those kind of films. But now like I've watched it in Infinity War. Yes. Yes, I
What
have.
happened there?
Don't know.
Infinity War? It's like you lost the process to English.
Yes, I have. I watched it and like there's like a lot of really cool things going on, lots of like big characters, but I realised that I might just be liking the film just because there's like a load of really cool characters in it rather than judging a film based upon the quality of what's going into it and like, you know, the actual cinematography and the acting and the soundtrack. It's like another thing, like name me an Infinity War song. Hum an Infinity War song. Right? There's like that one Guardians of the Galaxy scene. There's that one Guardians of the Galaxy scene where they play like a classic kind of like, you know, songs. They always do like a
yeah, like an 80s song, yeah.
I think it's like Rubber Band Man or something. I can't remember what it's called. Apart from that, there's like no real soundtrack to it. I don't know, like if you took away the fact that there's these cool characters into it, it just turns into a really kind of like crappy film with or without context to me. Of like, you know, that 10-year build up of stories and stuff. It's just kind of like turned into like a bland thing for me. There's no love in it.
I mean,
I'm sure there is love in it.
You were excited to go see it.
Yeah, I was. The CG's amazing. Like there are aspects which are incredible.
So there's two things for me. You know this already how I feel, but I knew going in that it was going to be very hard to craft a cohesive movie story having that many characters. Like
no, it was cohesive though. It was like they took, I'd say, not liberties, but like they
did very well grouping characters into like clusters to follow.
Yeah.
Like that was good. You kind of followed a group, and it was interesting.
Like
I loved seeing the dynamics. Like that.
Yeah.
That was something as a not like I watch Marvel movies with you because you like them, but like I don't read comics or whatever or look into the universe. But I liked seeing like Thor meeting like Rocket and Star-Lord. I always get to call him Star-Child every single time. Like I thought that was cool, like that like dynamic there. But everything felt so coincidental to me, or maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe
no, but
everything
that
felt
is like how it kind of worked. That kind of like characters would just meet by chance in this, rather large universe of characters.
Yeah. And then it was just always like, okay, there's a problem. It's like, oh, but thank God, so-and-so has dropped in out of the sky to help us. And I was just like, oh, of course. But what I did like was how Thanos actually felt interesting as a baddie.
I know, like, Thanos' like general like backstory as a villain is really like interesting. Like, is there like any other like good villains within the Marvel universe?
Killmonger.
He was alright.
I thought it was good.
He was alright.
Everyone's hyping about him right now. But, I mean, I don't really think of many other villains that are memorable for me. But that's because most of them are just like baddie that you have to hate. Yay, the Avengers, come to destroy them. But I actually thought Thanos was quite interesting, and we had like really deep political chats after it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to repeat on air because you were controversial, Mr. Kill Everybody. Made me look at you and be like, as we were walking home. But I did think that Thanos was quite interesting as a character, and I wanted to know more about his backstory and see more about it. But obviously there's only so many hours in a film that you can possibly cover that content. And it was bloody long already. What time did we cut the cinema?
It was like 1:30 in the morning. We're so tired. I'm surprised you stayed awake for most of it.
I fell asleep for about 10 minutes, which I think is
It was during
good
a
for
fight
me.
scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course it was.
During a fight
It
scene.
was the ending fight scene.
Too many fight scenes for you.
If I fell asleep in, like, what's it called? Doctor Strange's fight scene, I felt like that went on too long. But, hey. So yeah, Infinity War. I would still go see it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth seeing.
No, it's worth seeing. I think, like, as far as, like, superhero movies go for me, though, like, or hero movies in general, I found Watchmen really good.
I liked Watchmen.
It was, like, a really good one-off story that felt, very much included into, like, one film, and, like, pretty much every aspect of it was good, apart from, I mean, again, I can't really hum a soundtrack to it or anything like that. It doesn't have, like, distinguished in that way. But the general, like, themes in it, like, how dark it could be at times, and, explored the idea that the heroes, they weren't one-dimensional, like, holy crap, I'm, like, incredible kind of superheroes. It's, like, actually kind of a little bit dark about their actual personalities and stuff, that, they could save people but still be, like, really crappy human beings.
That's what I liked about them. They were imperfect heroes and stuff. That's what I liked. It was pretty dark. We always liked other stuff.
Yeah.
So occult. I also liked Spider-Man Homecoming recently. I didn't think I'd like it.
It was alright.
I thought he was cute. I like the new Spider-Man.
It's alright.
I thought it was enjoyable. I liked it. Thor Ragnarok. It was alright.
Yeah. Oh no, I quite liked Thor
Ragnarok,
but I liked it for the art direction and just like, art direction. That was it. No,
you thought it was funny.
I think with Thor as a character, he always kind of like needs someone else in terms of like another big character to become a good character himself. So like he was actually really good in Infinity War, and I think he was really good in Thor Ragnarok when he was with the Hulk.
Not when he cut his hair though. That was a down part. It was good until he cut his hair.
Spoilers.
Is that a spoiler?
No. But like in like the first 2-4 films, he just seemed kind of dry to me.
Maybe.
I wasn't like he wasn't that amazing of a character. I thought he started to come like to life within like Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War.
He was too funny. I didn't like the humour. It was one of those, when comedy for a movie is done in a way so that they literally are planning out the trailer. Like they're waiting for those key phrases to put in a trailer. It's like every scene of Suicide Squad. I love Suicide Squad. Like unashamedly, I love it. I do. You know I do.
I hate it.
But it's so bad it's good. That's why I like it. I really like it. But you know how there's scenes in, the script for Suicide Squad literally feels like what would work for the trailer. Oh, he's going to be like, what's this, some kind of Suicide Squad? And it's like, bam, that's in the trailer. Like, that's how that's how Thor felt for me. I feel like I'm saying Thor, like Thor. Like this. But that's how I felt about it. And we should stop trashing Marvel now.
Not trashing, just critiquing it. I think I just like very like distinct styles of superhero movies where they do tackle themes and hard subjects and try to do it in a really like good way. Like Watchmen did it. They did it really well. And like all of like the best bits for Infinity War in terms of like story for me were just like the bits where they tackled like hard issues like Thanos' storylines.
Which was good.
Yeah.
Speaking of hard issues and tackling them, Ryan's like, where is this going? Terrace House.
Oh, we've been binge watching. We've been binge watching Terrace House, haven't we? Well, not binge watching, but every single day we get home.
Not binge watching, but every day. Every day.
With dinner. So good.
I think you should tell the podcast what Terrace House is, because a lot of people probably don't know what it is.
So, I'm assuming that the people going to be watching this are... what's your viewership like? Is it British? Is Big Brother a thing elsewhere?
I think Terrace House is a thing everywhere.
But like Big Brother, is that just like UK specific?
Oh, Big Brother's UK, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's made in Chelsea before you were.
Yeah, no. How can I say it?
But you've got like the Real Housewives of LA.
So like pretty much the concept is that it's a little bit like Big Brother if you've ever watched that, but like it's where these group of not teenagers but like young adults are put into a house like together to live. They can go out of the house like and live out their normal lives, and it's kind of like a weird little dating house, I suppose. It's meant to be a dating house, right? But I think it's also a general lifestyle house. And they'll, these young adults will sign up to go on the show, and they can leave at any time they want as well. It's 3 guys. Yeah, 3 guys. 3 girls. 3 girls.
Always 3 guys, 3 girls.
Not necessarily single either.
Well, spoiler alert. But the idea, I think, is basically that they're meant to form relationships and just see what it's like doing kind of like cohabitation, I guess, in Japan. And the series that we're watching is where they're all in a house in Tokyo. And you can watch different ones where they're like I think there's one in Hawaii, and I think there's another one like in a woods or something. We haven't watched those yet. We're watching the Big House in the City or whatever it's called.
I think we're like season 2, like episode 28 or something.
It's on Netflix, as you say, and it's in Japanese, but it's got subs, so you should watch it right now. But the best thing about it is just seeing how relationships form in Japan, and I know they're not necessarily descriptive of every relationship in Japan, but
you get a good taste for like how people kind of like interact with each other in terms of like at the beginning of relationships, and it's quite interesting. And
it's like really interesting to see how like things like holding hands they take as a much bigger deal, I think, than we do here. Like holding hands I don't think it's weird that people would hold hands when they're interested in each other, but before they're going out.
Like on the other weird end of the spectrum though is that you generally don't see like old parents holding hands, do you?
Oh, sometimes you do, and when you do, it's lovely.
It is lovely.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's really nice.
Oh, I'll see that more. But that's what I love about Terrace House, seeing all these like little weird relationships form, and those dynamics, and the passive-aggressive arguments.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Oh, they're great. I mean, at the beginning...
They never shout, do they? Just like constant, like very like passive-aggressive digs.
Like a lot. Like people will say things. What was that one?
There's a lot of high-level psychological warfare going on, isn't there?
Yes. There's right at the beginning of the series. There are a couple of people who they're all young and they've got lots of dreams and determinations and stuff like that. And there's one girl who does have a cool dream. She wants to be a barista. She wants to open her own cafe.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a really cool. Like she works really hard. She has an office job, but she also like is a barista in her spare time. It's very random, but like that's what she wants to do. And she explains this dream to this guy who's a tap dancer, Tapu, and he is just like, so you don't have any goals then? You don't have a dream. You don't know where you're going.
It's not big enough.
Where's your life? You need to think bigger. She's like, I want to open my own cafe. He's like, not good enough. And we were sitting there like, what?
You should check his Instagram and see where he's gotten in life.
I'm sure he's probably done well. He seemed like a good tap dancer. But we were sitting there like, that's a pretty big goal. Like, most people here are just happy to live.
It's a big financial decision to open up a cafe. It's a lot of planning.
You know, it's entrepreneurship. She's showing a lot of skills there. And yet, it wasn't good enough. And it wasn't just him who was like, that's not good enough. Like, no one else voiced it in the same way.
No.
But they all kind of were like, yeah, she should really think about her goals. And then even the commentators afterwards were like, oh, she wasn't dreaming big enough.
Yeah.
And we found that so weird. So it's really interesting to see things like that. But one of our favourite incidents, the incident that this podcast is named after, is the meat incident. And this was one which happened, and a member of the Terrace House, he is a hairdresser, and he got given a piece of luxury meat.
Well, it's like high-end, it's like the equivalent of like high-end steak to the West, right? It's like when you go out to a restaurant and it's like well over like £50 or whatever, it's like £100 like prime steak, like from a really high-end restaurant, like it's
in
that kind of thing.
Box.
He's worked very hard, you know, he's probably put in a lot of hours into his hairdressing, and he's gotten to the point where, you know, his customers respect him enough to, you know, give him a present because he's done like such an incredible job.
And they sent it over as well.
Yeah, sent
from
it overseas.
Yeah, well, it wasn't overseas.
No, it wasn't overseas. No,
from Nagoya.
Yeah.
But still they sent it with a lot of thought.
A lot of thought.
And it's in this like wooden special box. It doesn't look like something from, you know, Tesco. It looks like
it's like a properly
it's a proper thing. And he puts it in the fridge. And I think he mentions to a couple of people that he's got this present. His girlfriend is one of the ones which he mentions that he's got this important present from. When he's at the house, she decides to make a little bit of dinner with it and serve it up to herself and some others without asking him and without him even being there to enjoy it. And they use all of it. And this is known as the meat incident. And he comes back in and he's obviously upset. Like, I would be upset. Like, if I was gifted some Chocomel milkshake, you know, it's not just from down the road, it's imported, that stuff. And I went in the fridge and you had drunk it without asking me. Well, hold on. Has this happened before?
The context of it is also that he's worked very hard for something. It's not even that he's just had it like bought for him as a general present. It's something that he's worked hard for, and that, you know, he's worked so hard that someone else has seen that and been like, wow, he's done such a good job, I'm going to send him a present to say thank you. And that's like a big thing, right?
Yeah.
It's beyond just like, you know, giving someone a tip or, you know, just generally paying them. It's like also going out of your way to be like, God, that guy was really good. I'm gonna like send him something. He should, you know, just to show like he's done a really good job.
So, obviously, we both agree that eating that isn't cool.
It's very disrespectful.
It's not very nice.
It shows that, you know, you don't really have much respect for your friend and how hard he's working.
And boyfriend.
Yeah.
On the other hand, everybody in Terrace House, including the commentators. Did you mention that there's commentators?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
So there's this group of people who are in like the Netflix studio watching this as it happens and commentating on it, like in between segments. And after this whole scene where he comes in and he's like, where's the meat gone? Like kind of thing. And he's angry and they're all like, oh, we ate it. Yay. Like it cuts to the scene of all the commentators and they're all basically saying that he needs to get over it and it's not a big deal. And we were really shocked by that, weren't we? Really shocked.
It's horrendous.
And they were making fun of the fact that he was, you know, potentially going to break up his relationship over this meat. I think that's breakup worthy. It shows an utter lack of respect.
Yeah, it's just like not really appreciating that, you know, someone's like worked like super hard for something and like they're being rewarded by people like these customers and these clients, and then not really like being respectful of that and saying, you know, okay, you've actually worked really hard for this. This was like super insensitive of us to do that. We appreciate that you worked hard for this and we're really sorry. It's not like that. It's just kind of like, why are you getting so mad?
Why are you so mad?
It was just meat.
And he gets really upset over it. Like, he cries at one point about it. And I think if I'd done that and hadn't realised how important it was, I'd be very sorry, like, when I realised. And none of them seemed that sorry. They were all kind of just laughing about it.
Yeah,
and
like,
it was so painful.
like, firstly, you kind of have to like apologize for like eating it. Secondly, just like apologize for not like really realizing the
gravity of it.
Yeah, the gravity of it, the context of why what that like kind of like present meant.
We've got very deep on this. On a lighter subject, still on Terrace House, right? Ryan needs to be held back.
What?
Because
don't do this.
You know what I'm gonna say.
Don't do this.
The guys. You were saying what a looker the guys are.
A lot of the guys are really hot.
You weren't as impressed by the girls.
They're right.
I think that there's a nice bunch. But one of them in particular, when it shows, so when they're introducing new characters, like people coming into the house, they never show their full face. They show like the lower half or something, or maybe like just the shoulders. And there was this one guy, and he's like on a construction site, and they're showing him coming in, and you can tell he's a little bit like, not what's the word, like rugged and like manly, and like he's not like super swole,
no,
but he's like, you can tell he's just like a well-maintained kind of guy, except from those little hoop earrings that you spy at the same time.
They're not bad.
No. Pretty bad. And Ryan was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And I was like, "Huh, who is this?" And it came up saying like, it's Hikaru is a construction worker and model, and we were like,
what combination?
Whoa. And then as he makes his entrance into the house and you see his face for the full time, Ryan's face, you were like, whoa, that guy, look at him. I think you got flustered.
I did.
I got flustered too. We were all flustered, weren't we? Hot boy.
Had to open a window.
Air yourself out. But no, it's worth watching, not just for the hot boys and girls, but for the dramas, the sweet dramas. And we're going to be watching it for some time to go. Got quite a few episodes left, haven't we?
In between the other Netflix series that we're trying to watch.
Which?
We're trying to watch Lost in Space.
Danger, Will Robinson.
It isn't too bad, is it? It's alright. I think
that...
as far as like science fiction goes, I think I'm quite surprised you're enjoying it.
I don't know if I'm enjoying it. I just have got into it now.
A few times you've been like, let's watch Lost in Space.
Yeah, because...
And I'll be against it because I'm not really in the mood for it, which is surprising. Like, this never happens with science fiction.
We've started it now. I want to know what happens. I never watched the original, which apparently has Joey from Friends in it, I've heard.
I suppose, like, I know science fiction is a big part of it, but like in terms of general screenplay and stuff, it's a smaller part just because a lot of it's kind of like human danger, right? And just like, I suppose the social aspects of tribalism within like groups.
I guess, maybe. It's
there's a lot of like just general character interactions, right?
But the baddie in it is so useless. She's not useless,
right.
But she's just like, she's like this little like witchy demon that like pops up to like mess with things.
That's what makes you hate her, right? That she's so useless at everything apart from like manipulating people.
She's so see-through.
That's such a horrendous trait.
I don't know how the Robinsons haven't figured her out yet. I mean, they probably will soon. But we also haven't explained this series at all.
I don't think we need to.
But if you haven't seen it, it's about a family who go to live on Mars. Are they planning to go to? Or something
Alpha Centauri?
Wherever that is. So they're leaving Earth because Earth is all dying and stuff, as we all know. And on their way, something goes wrong with their ship and they end up crashing on this random planet. And when they're on the planet, it's not much of a spoiler because I think it's in the first episode, but when they're on this planet, they the young boy Will encounters a robot alien thing that kind of takes a liking to him. He saves his life or something, and it's just the story of what happens then, and then they slowly begin to find other people and stuff who also crashed, and how people learn to accept this robot-y alien thing. But it's just all right. Like, the child actors aren't too bad.
No, as far as like child actors can be, sometimes they're actually pretty good.
I think it's worth a watch if you've got nothing else to watch.
Apart from Will.
I mean, he's not too bad. He's quite young, isn't he?
He's annoying.
Danger. Will Robinson. Okay, Ryan. It's that time. It's question time. Have you been looking at the gaming news at all?
Nope.
No?
No.
I wrote some of these questions like a while ago, so I mean...
If it's like gaming news, then I've heard it through Twitter.
Okay, good start. Right. You've probably seen my screen, so you can see what's coming up.
I haven't actually read that bit.
Okay. Don't look at it, and don't look at my
Okay.
answers. Okay, so, question 1. How much did Shadow of the Tomb Raider cost to make? That sounds like a weird sentence, but apparently
Shadow of
makes
the
sense.
Tomb Raider.
New
That
Tomb
isn't-
Raider game.
That isn't like the mini game one, is it?
No.
150 million?
You're saying 150 million. What's that, pound, dollars?
Maybe $100 million. Okay, I'll say on that.
You have got a good guessing going on. It was $75 to $100 million, but that's production alone, and it doesn't take into account like promotion and stuff.
Oh, so it'll be like around like 115, 120 million.
I don't know. Don't know how much spent on production. I mean on promotion. But that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot for a game. I think $100 million.
What was GTA 5? Was it like 100, or is it something
I don't know.
higher than that? Was it like 200? I mean, they got their money back, didn't they?
It's been like the top of the charts for the past like 5 years,
Yeah,
isn't it?
on, like,
It's
Steam,
insane.
yeah. It's crazy.
Like, in the UK, I don't think it's ever left the top 10, has it?
No.
Since it's come
No.
out. It's
And, like,
crazy.
they still make like a lot of money from the online, like the cards. What are they called? Shark cards or something?
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea what that is. Okay,
In-game currency.
you did well with that question. Well done. Question 2.
I just said an outrageous figure, to be honest.
Okay, what infamous 90s FMV is being brought to the Switch?
FMV.
Hmm.
Fan-made video.
Full motion video. There we go.
Full motion
My
video.
brain was like, then. So in 1993, the
Oh,
VP of
no.
Nintendo America said the game would never come to a Nintendo system.
Never come to a Nintendo system.
That's the clue.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Is that an FMV?
Alright, what's an FMV?
Okay, so an FMV is like a game where it's actually got real life video settings.
Oh,
in.
right, those things, yeah.
Yeah. So think like the new.
God, Leisure Suit Larry would be weird for that, right?
What a random thing to say. Of all the things you could have come out with.
Well, I was just thinking, like, what wouldn't come to a Switch or like a Nintendo console in general?
So Her Story is an FMV game. For
Yeah.
example.
Is it Her Story?
No. In 1993.
It
I
looks
don't
pretty
think he was
old.
that far ahead of his time. No idea? It came out on the Sega... What is it called? Sega CD? Is that what it's called?
Is it that house mystery game? Like,
I
house
think...
trap thing?
Yeah, you're on the right track. Night Trap.
Night Trap, is it that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's that game where it's all based in a house, and it's like a girls are having some kind of like sleepover party or something, and then their house gets attacked by monsters, and at the beginning it just kind of feels pervy, like you just kind of switch to different views of the room. It's a bit like Five Nights at Freddy's, but with
I
girls
was about to say
at
that.
a
It's
sleepover.
like, it's weird, like, that Five Nights at Freddy's just kind of like brought that dynamic back and everyone loved it.
Yeah, it's literally like flicking through security cameras, basically, of the house, and then having to, like, find these monsters that are attacking them. And it was really controversial when it came out, and got banned, I think, and there was all this stuff. It came up in, like, you know, like, when there's, big press, like, what am I trying to say? You know, like, court proceedings about games, about how they're, like, a bad influence
Like the
and stuff.
Manhunt when that came out.
Yeah. The
Bully.
same thing happened
Bully was pretty
with
bad.
Night Trap.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah. So Limited Run Games is bringing it back as like a physical release, I guess, as a homage to the 25th anniversary. So that's nice.
It probably won't do too badly considering like what Five Nights at Freddy's is like, maybe. But
I don't know if that many people would have heard of it these days.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew of it because I think what's it called? Angry Gaming? What was the YouTuber called?
I knew
Angry
of it.
Video Gamer?
I knew
AVGA?
it because of like this random video game channel that used to be on TV like a long time ago.
Must have been a long time ago.
Well,
when you watched TV?
Yeah, when I watched TV.
When you were 10 years old.
I think it was called like Wes and Larry's like top 10 or something. It was like the show.
Is that your Larry Bundy guy?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Cool. Question 3. This is a very vague one. What was the big announcement by Sega recently?
Is it another Sonic game?
No. I mean, that was... Come on. Sega. Sonic is your only guess so far. That's the most catch-all of answers for a Sega question.
If it was QI, the buzzers would be going off. British jokes.
That's so true.
Mm.
What would your QI sound effect be? Bonus question. Bonus move.
I don't know. I don't know what sound effect describes me as a person.
Oh God, I think it'd be your creepy noises that you make.
I think it'd be like a sigh. Oh.
Maybe. Okay, come on. What big announcement was made by Sega recently? It has to do with another game that they're bringing out.
What good games did they do? Hold on, I've got this. Anything to do with Alien? No. Alien Isolation?
No. Is that Sega?
I think it is, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Okay. Hint. The game originally came out, this is a big hint, on Dreamcast.
There was games on Dreamcast?
Yeah, don't you remember? There was Seaman. Best game.
What?
Seaman.
Pardon?
The game with the fish with the face. Remember that? Have you never seen Seaman?
No, I didn't. I wasn't even aware that Dreamcast had games. I thought it was like the Wii U.
Oh my God, I'm going to show you a video of that later.
Just glorified paperweight.
Come on. It was a really famous game. It was meant to be a trilogy that came out on the Dreamcast, but the third game never came out. So now they're bringing out the third game, but what's the big news related to that?
Shenmue. Is it that?
Yes. Shenmue.
Nailed it.
Yes, it's or what did you used to call it? Shenmue.
Shenmue.
Shenmue. Yeah, Shenmue. Well, you didn't really answer the question, but they're remaking finally Shenmue 1 and 2, so that when 3 comes out, people actually know what the damn series is about. Because these days, most people are interested in it have actually never played 1 and 2.
Just funny because I bet like a lot of the people who got excited about it at E3 had no idea what it was, but they were just like, "Yeah, this looks really cool." I have no idea what it is and why everyone else is so excited, but I'm sure it's good.
I remember that announcement. It was fire. I was at E3 at the time, and I was watching a stream at a conference room in E3, not at the actual conference. And I was sitting with my friend Amy on the floor, and we were watching this big screen, and all I saw, I can't remember what the opening scene is, but you see it's either a feather, or maybe that was
Is
the
it
last
like by a
Guardian.
river or something? I can't remember what it was.
I can't think what the trailer was, but you know when you know what a game is in like an instant, and you're like, bah! Like literally that E3 was announcement after announcement. It was
That's how I'm going to feel
so
with
good.
Animal Crossing. Can't wait. It's just going to be a little fruit that just rolls on the screen. I'm going to be like, oh my God.
Bells tingling.
Oh, Animal Crossing.
It's like us at the end of Terrace House, the last episode. When,
And then it's Amiibo Festival too.
And they cut to that like random ending where it was like a cliffhanger ending. We both went, "Whoa!" It's going to be like that. We're going to get hype. I'm really excited to actually be not at E3 and be able to watch the live streams this year, because normally I miss them because I'm working.
Stay up late.
Yeah, I'm hyped. We should have a little like streaming party of it.
We have no friends.
With internet friends. That would be nice.
Yeah, would be nice.
So yes, that was the answer. So far, well, out of the 3 questions, you got 1.5 right.
I got there in the end with the Shenmue.
I mean, I I had to literally tell you what it was.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit. So yeah, well done. Round of applause.
Is that it? Have I finished the rounds?
I mean, I only came up with 3 questions.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. There we go.
I'll try harder next time.
Thank you.
Ganbatte. So is there anything you're looking to play next week?
Probably just more Splatoon. That's it. I'm happy.
No, the hopes and dreams?
No, I'm happy with Splatoon at the moment. Like, I haven't played Overwatch as much now. I played, like, last competitive season, played quite, like, a lot. And then just kind of got bored of it again, such as the Overwatch cycle.
That's sad.
Plus, I'm trying to stop myself from, like, buying any useless crap, like, loot crates at the moment. And Overwatch is pretty bad for it.
Please don't buy loot crates. What a waste of money.
It is. It really is.
I want to play Nier Automata next, as well as Last Guardian and Hellblade. And we were going to play... What was that?
That's
your buzzer noise for QI.
Oh, there we go.
And we were going to play Swords of Ditto together.
Yes, we are. We are.
So, hopefully, next time you see us live on Twitch, we'll be playing Swords of Ditto. And probably dying a lot, because it's a roguelike, right?
Yeah. I can't really think of any other co-op games that we could play together, which is, like, super sad.
But that one will be good.
Everything, like, I can think of that's co-op is pretty much just multiplayer, right? I mean, we could probably stream Cuphead.
That's true, although it would be painful.
It would be painful.
And we'd probably swear.
Probably funny.
I mean, the only other game that I would like to play multiplayer with you is probably Stardew Valley. # not an ad. And that would be probably when it comes out on Switch. So that would be nice. But I think I'd be too ashamed to show my farm ever again. Yours is just so superior. It'd have to be your farm hosted. But then you'd get annoyed at me for messing it up. Yeah, that's what would happen. Definitely. It's like when you invite someone over to your town in Animal Crossing and they just like dig up all your plants, like run through all your plants, dig all your stuff up, steal all your fruit.
They do it on purpose.
And then they change your flag to something weird.
Cut down your trees.
Yeah. They replace your
leave the stumps.
Top, you know, your customizable t-shirt in, what's it called? Able and Sable?
Sable Sisters? Able Sisters? Able Sisters.
Yes, that's right. And you know you can like swap over patterns and people leave you with like their crap ones and take yours and you're like, ah! That's like us playing together.
I want Animal Crossing so bad.
I know. We'll get there. E3. I'm hoping that'll happen. We should do an E3 predictions video at some point. That would be fun.
I don't even know what I would want from E3 this year.
That's very sad.
Like, PC games becoming kind of like a little bit stale for me, and then I think I just want stuff for Switch now. Which is funny because we were saying when I first met you, I was all about the PC.
Yes.
It's all about.
And now you're a Nintendo baby like me.
How times change.
And I'm a little Sony pony. Right, I think that's it for this episode. We've probably chatted away for long enough now.
I think we've been live for nearly an hour.
Yeah, that'll do.
Give or take 10 minutes.
If it goes any longer, I have to start paying for stuff when I upload, so
yeah.
Better keep it short and sweet. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you can always hit like and subscribe. If you've got a question for us for next time, you can either leave a comment, or perhaps if you're feeling really old school, you can email in at superconsolegaming@gmail.com, or send us a message on Twitter. As always, hate goes to @RyanAPage. Beautiful compliments go to @superconsole.
I don't care, I just get that sweet engagement rate up, baby. Those impressions.
What about them hits? Sweet hits. So thank you very much, and it was lovely to chat as always, and we'll see you for the next one.
Bye.
Bye.